Hello again and welcome back. This is now my 5th video in the series, and those of you who started with me 4 weeks ago have reported weight loss of up to 7 or even 8 pounds already, which is great. And if you haven't started yet, or you're struggling to master the skills that I'm teaching you, don't worry, keep trying. Watch this video, refresh yourself on what you need to do from the other videos and start again. Everybody's weight loss proceeds at a different pace. What is important is that you learn the skills you need. The weight loss will follow. So, in last week's video, I explained how you can reduce your desire to eat certain foods. Those foods which keep you stuck in your weight loss journey. And this week, I want to help you to develop that skill by showing you that it's your thoughts about food which are creating the desire to eat. The desire is not created by the food itself. Most people think that certain foods are just too desirable to resist. If they want to lose weight, they think the safest thing to do is not to have that food around at all, or not to allow themselves even the tiniest taste of these foods, because they think this is the only way they know to cut out the desire to eat them. But what if I told you that this was not the case? That you can decide how much desire you want to have for everything you eat or drink. If you want to be able to eat one biscuit and not half the packet, you can learn how to do this. You don't have to cut out biscuits altogether. Equally, if you decide you don't want to eat something at all anymore, you decide that eating it is not giving you the results you want, you can learn how to cut it out completely without feeling deprived or using willpower to resist it. And the way that you can do this is by reducing your desire to eat or overeat certain foods. And we've already looked at where desire comes from in last week's video. It comes from your thoughts about eating something. And how do I know this? Because the feeling is created even before you taste that food. The feeling is there in anticipation of the food coming. And if you think about something that no one has a desire to eat, for example, burnt toast, thinking about it creates no feelings of desire. If someone was handing around burnt toast, you would find it easy to say no, you don't like eating burnt toast, and the thought of it doesn't create a feeling of desire. But if you think about something that you do enjoy eating, your thoughts about that food are completely different. You can imagine exactly what it will look like, how it will smell, how it will taste when you finally get to eat it. Your mouth might start to water. You might find your heart rate raises a bit in anticipation of eating it. But the food isn't there yet. The desire is already starting to build before you even have that food in front of you. And it's interesting to note that at different times of the day we change our thoughts about food. For example, wine. You might have a strong desire to drink wine at the end of the day. After a stressful day or a boring day or a long day, your thoughts might start turning towards that first glass of wine when you get home or when the clock reaches a certain time. You are already thinking about what type of wine you will have, what glass you will have it in, how it will taste when you have that first sip, how it will make you feel relaxed, calm. You are already starting to build up the desire for that first glass of wine during the afternoon. But how would you feel about wine if this was much earlier in the day? If it was breakfast time and someone offered you wine, would you have wine for breakfast? Maybe, if it was a special occasion. But would you have the same desire to drink at breakfast? The wine is still the same. It could be chilled, a really nice bottle, your favourite glass, all the things you look forward to at the end of the day. But at this time of the day, you can say, no, I don't want wine for breakfast. But wine is supposed to be fun. And if that was the case, then we would have it for breakfast. It would be hard to say no. And the difference between these two times of day are your thoughts about the wine. It is your thoughts which are making drinking wine necessary, not the wine itself. You have created that desire with the thoughts you are having about drinking wine. The wine is exactly the same as it was several hours previously at breakfast time. But now, because the thoughts are different, the desire is there, and it's so much harder to resist. Learning how to reduce your level of desire for certain foods requires you to change the thoughts you are having about it. So, continuing with the wine example, you have to look at why you are drinking it. For example, is it to relax you? Then, if you don't want to desire wine as much, you have to think about something else you can do to relax, something that won't jeopardise your weight loss progress. I was talking about this with a client who was stuck with her weight loss because she finds she always turns to chocolate when she's feeling upset. So she might have a disagreement with someone, or an unkind comment is made to her, and to deal with the feeling she has, she will eat chocolate. In our coaching session, I asked my client what she wanted the chocolate to do for her when she ate it, and she said, "I suppose I'm wanting it to make me feel less upset." But we both laughed at this because we agreed this was a big ask for a bar of chocolate. How can it fix the problems which have caused so much upset? That is too much to expect of a bar of chocolate. We thought that maybe instead of writing pause on the box where the chocolate lives in the cupboard, like some of my clients have done, she could write, "Can I help you?" Because really, that is what she's asking the chocolate to do, and it sounds crazy when you're looking at it like this, doesn't it? Now, this is a familiar problem for a lot of people. They use food to change how they feel. So to stop doing this, they try to avoid situations that they think will cause them upset. And whilst this can work to a certain extent, there are still going to be times outside of your control when you don't feel happy. You can't feel happy 100% of the time. Life isn't like that. But if you don't want to be stuck with your weight loss, you need to find a way to deal with those feelings and accept them without turning to food. The second thing you have to be careful of is how you create desire with the thoughts, "I deserve a treat. I've worked really hard. I've had a really busy day." If you think in this way, that food or drink is a form of reward, then it creates a feeling of desire in you which prompts you to act. You are surrounding the food or drink with these feelings of desire, and it makes it too hard to resist eating. If you become aware of this, then you are able to set about changing it. Food is food. It is fuel. Some of it is better quality than others, but it's your thoughts about that fuel which are creating the desire to eat it. To change how you feel, to provide a reward. The first thing you have to do to break this cycle is to recognise that it is happening. To stop using food to change the way you feel, and to separate out your thoughts from your actions. This is how you really learn to lose weight and are able to maintain this weight loss. Not through acting on autopilot and eating what you're told to eat for a specified period of time. Not through detoxing or juicing or depriving your body. To lose weight, you need to learn how to look after yourself, including your emotional self. And that is what will ensure the weight you lose stays off for good.